Okay, hi, this is Jackie. I want to do a quick walkthrough. I'll try to be as quick as possible. There's a lot of elements in this book and I want to share a lot of them with you. So this is our Disney album from 2015. It's the first year we brought our kids to Disney World. So it was a pretty special trip and I wanted to make an album for it. Here is the title page. This was a pamphlet that we got and I saved, and it didn't actually say Disney, but I used stickers to write Disney on there. And then I used the Becky Higgins date stamp to put the day we went and the day we came back. And then I journaled about why we went to Disney here. This next page, it was my dad's birthday the day before we left, and he had this daydream that he told me about earlier about us all having matching t-shirts. So I journal about it here, and then that's what we got him as a gift. We made him the t-shirts, just iron-ons. So here's a picture of the process, and then this is him opening it. Georgia and I also made him a birthday cake, and we made it look like Mickey Mouse in honor of our trip. So here's her with the cake, and then I also printed out a picture of a close-up of the cake, and then I just cut out the photo and glued it to the cardstock there. Here's a picture of all of us. Throughout this whole album, I use these Mambi stickers that I love because they're transparent. They have white ones and black ones, and you could see the photo through it. So for instance, here when I use it on a photo, you could see the wall behind the sticker, which I really like how that looks. Okay, so this page is our travel page. We flew JetBlue, and they have this great tiling that looks like a subway because we flew out of New York City. Underneath it, I included our boarding passes, and how I did this was I just glued our boarding passes on the yellow cardstock, and then I trimmed around it. And then, because no one just wants to look at a boarding pass, I kind of made it like a title page, so it says The Journey, and it says Let's Go, and there's Conroy with his little figures, and then here he is pulling his luggage. He insisted on doing that the whole time. And then this is just a journaling card about how we got there, exactly. And then this is all of us in the shuttle. And then here we are at the hotel. I wanted to include a picture of the outside of the hotel. And then this is our first day at the Magic Kingdom, and we wore our t-shirts this day. So here I printed out what was on the back of our t-shirts just on gray cardstock, so I had it in here as well. And then a little journaling about why I love a matching t-shirt. And then these cards I got from Big Picture Class on their Instagram. I saw it on there and I loved it. So I ordered it right away off the internet, and I wanted to make sure I ordered it from them since that's where I did see it from on Instagram. And I think I did pay more in shipping than I did for the card themselves, but I love them, and I think that was like set the tone of my whole album, so you'll see them throughout. This is another one, the top 10 rides. This was, I cut open the pin that Georgia and Conroy got that said their first visit. And then I used here the map. Each page going forward, I kind of did one ride per page. I love these 2x2 pockets. My dad got in trouble. They said all GoPro cameras must be kept inside the vehicle at all times. So I used some stickers and some journaling to capture that. And there he is with his GoPro. Me and Conroy. We're flying, Mom. He said that. This next one is the teacups. And I used some photos I printed out 2x2, and then this one was actually a 4x6, and my parents took it like a selfie version of them, and they were in the back, so I just cut out their faces from it. This next page is just the castle and us watching the parade. I decided to use the different passes that we had. Everybody had a card, and they had the different characters on it, so I cut them up so they fit in the slots. Then here is the carousel, which is a lot of fun. And for this, this one was a 4x6 photo, and I just cut it up so they were 2x2s. And then I used little, those Mambi stickers, but first I put them on cardstock so it matched this one that had real cardstock. And then these 3 photos I printed out 2x2s, so you could see these are smaller photos, and then this is one big photo because there I am, and then Georgia and Conroy are there, so I feel like you can see everyone. Here's another Big Picture Class card, and then I thought it worked well with Georgia and the castle below. I used some stickers to embellish. And then this photo is of inside Cinderella's castle. You could see I had a big mosaic and I thought it was really pretty, so I just took a photo of that and then used it to fill the whole card. Here's another big picture class. It says top 10 moments. And then over here it says to infinity and beyond. It's from the Buzz Lightyear ride. And then Conroy, he said that constantly. And then this photo I got off the internet. I just Googled Gaston Walt Disney World and I found this great photo. I feel like that's the Gaston we actually seen or saw while we were there, but we spent probably like 10 minutes just watching him take pictures with everyone else, and Georgia found it very very interesting. So I wanted to remember that memory, and I didn't take a picture at the time, so I just Googled a picture of him, and I think it works perfect. I wrote handsome because he always says how handsome he was. He was kind of funny. This was when we had lunch with Pooh and Tigger and Eeyore and Piglet, and there were so many I really couldn't pick. I wanted to use them all, so I did. And then I gave him a little border so it kind of went together better. Everything has a pink border. And then on this picture was a 4x6, and I wound up cutting out part of it here. So it's one big photo, and then I just cut out my mom and Conroy there so that I could use their space to journal. And then you still see Pooh here, and then the normal black background. And then here's a picture of all of us. Then here, I wanted to remember some more of the rides. So this was our Ariel ride, which was Georgia's favorite. We rode it twice. And this was another example of me trying to remember the memory, even though I didn't take a photo, because we were having such a good time. I don't think I took any photos on this. But again, I just Googled Ariel ride Walt Disney World. I found this great picture of people on the ride. So I had that printed, and then you could see here, I don't know if you could tell, get bigger. I cut out pictures of our heads from other pictures, and I just put them over here. So it just kind of remember that we all went on that ride together, and it was fun. And then this is the Belle ride, which not necessarily was an actual ride. It was more of a walkthrough. But both kids took their picture with Belle, and then they gave us a bookmark here. So I saved that because Belle loves to read, you know, so they gave us a bookmark, cute. And this next day is Hollywood Studios. So again, I used the map, and then I cut out a picture here of us and Donald Duck. More Hollywood Studios, just a picture looked like New York City, so I wrote home and used that guy who looks like he's a New Yorker for sure. He's complaining. And here's another memory I wanted to remember, and we took no photos. I don't know what. We were just having such a good time. It says Disney Junior Live, which is the play we saw, and it had Doc McStuffins and Sophia the First, so I wrote about it here. And then these underneath, I don't know, you kind of see through them. At the end, they had all this like gold tissue paper fall from the ceiling, and Georgia spent forever picking them up. So I wanted to include them somehow, so I just included them over there, and I kind of like that you could see through it. And now on the back, you could see, because you could see that, you could still see here. So I just cut some cardboard so you could still see the top and the bottom, and it says Let It Go. Because down here is the Let It Go sing-along we saw. And then up top, we had stopped and got some ice cream. So there they are eating it, Mickey ice cream. And if you notice, I got a bunch of packets of the same type of letters. So I try to be consistent throughout the book, and that way it was easier. When I was combining colors and stuff, it's still, even though they're different colors, because I needed certain letters from certain colors, and you know you run out of E first on everything, it still went together pretty well. And then here we are this next day. Conroy had got sick at the end of Hollywood Studios, so the next day we actually took him to the doctor. So this day, my mom and Georgia stayed at the pool all day. So my favorite part of this is I saved her little umbrella, and I used it over here to save it and like write a little bit about what happened. So that was their day at the pool, and then we were at the ER, which sounds a little dramatic, and it wasn't as bad. My cousin actually works there, so we were able to get in right away and find out what was wrong with him. And he was just a little sick, but he was okay. And I saved some stuff from the ER. So this is the stethoscope, or not the stethoscope, the tongue depressor. And I wrote "Say Ah" on it, and then this is what they had him wearing, his wristband, his bracelet, and then this is the one I was wearing. It says his name on it. They made me wear that. And then here we are down here trying to pass the time while we waited, doing the great big spider. So I used a great big spider here. There was no spider in that emergency room, don't worry. Let's see. And then he was better. By the next day, he was better. So I'm glad we went and got him some medicine. This was later that day. We went to Epcot, and then of course Georgia got sick. So we went from Conroe being sick to Georgia being sick. So she slept most of the time in the stroller. And then we ate there with the princesses. Of course it rains, because it always rains when you're in Disney at some point. So it's me and my Aunt Mare in our ponchos. And then here we are with the princesses. We left there early. It was a bummer, but she didn't feel good, so we had to. And then the next day we took it easy. So I wrote, donuts make everyone feel better, because my Aunt Marianne went out and got us some Krispy Kremes. So I made this little flap because this is her so happy, and that's her being sick, but she's still so cute. I wanted to include it. Here's another card from Big Picture class, which I really like. So I included it there. I like the colors. And again, you can see I use all different color letters, but since it was the same font, it looks pretty good together. This night we went to downtown Disney. Some of my other relatives came and met us. So this is little Ricky, him in Georgia. And then this page I kind of like how this turned out. Can you see this? I used a 4x6 that I cut up into 4 parts. And then this one, I did the same thing, but when I cut it, Georgia's face was cut in half. So I reprinted it and just cut her in a square, and then I cut my dad in a square, and then I used the whole picture printed out as a 2x2. So it's the same photo, but I like how it looks like that. The same thing here. Here's Conroe and my mom, and then here's not the same photo, but another similar photo showing how much fun he's having on the carousel. I really like how that turned out. Now we are at SeaWorld, and then this, I took this idea from Kelly Perky because I feel like I see her do it a lot. This side is all the 12 photos, and then this one, I wanted to include this big photo. I love how it came out, and I didn't want to cut it up into 6 pieces. So instead, I just used another piece, another pocket protector, and I slipped it in, and then I stapled it. I think she has a fancy stapler that she calls something else, but I just used a regular stapler. And then that way I could use 3 photos on the top, 3 photos on the bottom, and then this one's a big photo. And then on the back, because all this I still used as green, you can't even really tell. Kind of just goes. And here we are, SeaWorld. This was a list of the shows we saw, and then I cut out some parts of the map just to give it some color, and then this thing that's in SeaWorld. And then over here, Georgia went on our first roller coaster, and it was really exciting. So this is the photo we got, because we bought that they did there, which isn't the best quality, but it's still kind of amazing. And then here is a selfie I took when we went on a helicopter simulator ride, which she was also really brave to go on. And I just journal a little bit here about both experiences. Here is Georgia and Conroe taking their time, balancing on things, and I wrote the art of the dilly-dally, because Georgia walks slow sometimes, and sometimes you gotta walk slow and enjoy it with her. So I just spoke a little bit about that in the journaling. And then the last day we went to see my family, and I wrote family with these fun sparkly letters and cut out a picture of my mom and Conroe because it's my mom's side of the family. And then here is the big picture. We did a self-timer. I set it up, and then we took a bunch of, and then I made it so it took probably like 8 in a row, and then they all made funny faces. So I chose my favorite 4, and I just included them down here small. And at the last page, I just used a picture of the castle at night, and it says, "Until next time," because you know we'll go back. And then I really like this photo. It says goodbye in all the different languages from It's a Small World. So I wrote "Remember this day." And it's like a little goodbye. So that's the album. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Bye.